The truth is, you are way more high vibes than you think. The fact that you think you're lower vibes means that you are acknowledging that you have vibes. You're higher vibes than you think, I promise. The fact that you're worried that you're going to use your power over somebody and you're going to somehow like take advantage, that's high vibes. The only thing that's really low vibes at this point is your worry, your concern. You already know that you're not a bad person. You already know that you've already fought the urges to like beat somebody up. Okay? We know this. So, like, tell me why you're wasting energy on that. That's your default, hun. You're gonna stay kind. Default. The more you worry that you're gonna be the other thing, most likely, I mean, you're just gonna be stuck in a battle. You may not even be the worst thing. Confirmation burp 101, as I say that. You may not even be the worst thing ever. You're just gonna be stuck and sad. Because you're so afraid that you might do something wrong that you're afraid of living. I promise you, you're more high vibes than you think, especially if you're seeing me. It means you're supposed to be able to hear something out of this. Wasting your time on thinking that you are going to hurt someone by living in your joy and your actual peace. And like honestly, those things don't come instantly. You don't get to push a button or do one action and then here it is. The feeling of happiness that everybody is chasing is actually being able to truly feel nothing and not the numbness of depression, because that isn't feeling nothing. You're still feeling numbness. That is still a feeling. There is still a dark feeling. There is still something that's just like, ugh. There is a feeling like the creaking of an old ship. So, next step is to accept that you're higher vibes than you think, and that you've tamed a lot of the wild beasts in you already, and that you can continue to do that because you already have tamed a lot of those beasts in you. Doesn't mean you're not going to have beasts in you. We all do. But what it does mean is that you can still do it. When you were a baby, you couldn't pick up a 10-pound weight. Now, I'm sure you could pick up a 10-pound weight. And maybe you aren't able bodied, and so you can't physically pick up a 10-pound weight. But I bet you could get somebody to pick up a 10-pound weight, or even better, you could like use your telepathy, because I know you're hiding. I'm sorry, that's I'm gonna quit fucking around. Um, but straight up, then you probably don't need to lift a 10-pound weight. That's not for you right now. Maybe one day it will be for you and you'll do it then. But in the meantime, you could do whatever other thing that you do. Write your stories, talk to people. Sometimes we are so sick and exhausted that the thought of moving our body is like moving an entire house, like moving the earth. And so that 10-pound weight, oh, it's so easy. But quite literally, some of us are just crippled by our thoughts, fully able bodied. And so then there you are again, crippling yourself with your thoughts. When there are people who are actually dealing with true disability, people who are dealing with other things. I'm not even talking about like disability. Because duh, no duh. But I'm talking about the lack of the abilities to even comprehend or have thinking, comprehensive thinking for themselves, have the ability to give grace to people, the ability to like move past their anger to hear a message beyond whatever. Quite honestly, it's it's something that in this ableist society, because it's so hard for people to recognize lack of ability, and then even whenever they see lack of ability in people, they're just like don't know what to do with it. Especially if there's a physical representation of it, they like people just don't know how to be, and that's fine. Uh, it's because they are so afraid of even recognizing their lack of ability. Um, in certain things like controlling their emotions or being able to go and like eat the right things for themselves. Like just I really can't have gluten. I don't know. I haven't had all the tests and stuff like that, but I know that whenever I stopped eating gluten, I stopped being so anxious and depressed. I know that I over the course of 6 months I like lost 70 pounds. I literally just deflated. And anytime I've added gluten back into my diet, even if I'm eating like small amounts, I swell. It's just my digestive system starts to get inflamed, and then it causes me to back up. Like I get constipated, I get gassy, um, and it hurts. And then like whenever I clear it out and I stop eating it for a while, it takes a few months, honestly. But then rapidly, my inflammation goes down, my joints feel better, all this other stuff. So I know that even though some people who eat gluten, as soon as they eat it, they are in the restroom in extreme pain with diarrhea and like vomiting. I don't get that. I get something that's like mild and quiet. Um, but whenever I know, now that I know that information about myself, I'm able to do that those things. And that all came from choosing to listen to the signs of the universe. My cousin called me and said, "Hey, I had a dream that you shouldn't eat eat cereal." I just kept saying, "Don't eat this cereal." And then I went to my kitchen, and the only box of cereal that I had that had an allergen listed was contains wheat. Um, and so I stopped eating wheat from that day. And then I found out that gluten isn't only in wheat; it's in barley and rye. And those are small things, those like little connections that the mind makes that you even make in your life. Like these, I don't know if any of that's even making sense, if any of this is connecting to the high five thing, but these are the things that you make, these connections that you make as well, but with your specific body and your person and your psyche and your all of your things. Um, because that's your deal. That's whatever your life is. And it has raised my vibration because quite literally I'm able to be in a different headspace now because I physically took care of my body. My chakras are better now because it was right here. My solar plexus. My solar plexus is very important to me. So if these organs in my solar plexus aren't doing well and they have pain, it can be very distracting to my communication systems. You may not need your solar plexus. So your solar plexus can be totally borked and it'll be okay. And you'll be fine. But if it's your throat chakra, it's your thing, but you always have a sore throat, or you're like I don't know, doing stuff that's bad for your throat all the time, or eating foods that like you anytime you eat an apple, your throat gets scratchy. But you really love apples; they taste so good. Maybe just don't eat apples. And then somehow your throat chakra feels better, and then now you're able to express yourself more. That's just an example of things. But you will recognize those things, and you have already recognized these things. That's why you're here. That's why you're able to understand this. Anyway, that's it. You guys, thank you so much for all the stuff, all you guys listening and whatnot, and hearing my ramblings. I really do appreciate. I'm thankful for you all to give me the feedback that y'all do, and share y'all's numbers with me, and for y'all to make y'all's own videos, because that's just really what we're supposed to do here. And so I know that y'all got this, working on y'all's chakras and any other things. And if y'all do have questions and whatnot, y'all can join my Patreon for free, and y'all could send the questions in the chat. I'm seeing numbers and whatnot, but anyway, much love. In the meantime, lovies, y'all keep a lookout for the numbers and stay synchronized.